What is this lobby? Yeah, so never mind. Also, I'm actually kind of delusional. I thought I was gonna make it into gold pretty much no problem, and well, it was going well. I was on a 5-game win streak, and then I went on a loss streak, and then all of the net positive that I had gained in that process, it's all down the drain. I ended up staying in silver too when I finally went for promotion. I thought I would skip into gold and shit, and then I thought when I started losing, you know, maybe I'd go up just one then instead of skipping. I fucked it up. So we got some massive news here. Not really, to be honest, but you know, Infinity Ward has listened to more feedback than we originally thought from the MW2 beta. I mean, we'll see. I mean, IW is known to literally completely double down. They've changed how the camera works in third-person modes on Modern Warfare 2 to only swap to first person when ADSing with a scope and magnification of 4 or higher. Now, although this is definitely part of like one of the little small issues and complaints that I had about the game, there are obviously other more pressing manners than just the third-person mode. That is a problem that did need to be fixed in my opinion. It didn't really feel like a true third-person mode if every single time anybody was ever shooting anything was just all in first person anyway. You guys already know I made like a near 20-minute long video on everything that I believed was wrong with Modern Warfare 2. I had a whole video explaining all of my issues with the game and stuff, but one of the biggest issues is the minimap change. Also provided their own excuse or reasoning as to why. It sounds more like an excuse the way that they explain it, but I'm trying to be fair, so I'm just gonna say that, you know, this was their reasoning and it's not an excuse. The reasoning to me is clearly and easily debunked, as shown in the past, you know, decade plus of previous games. But the crazy thing is, I knew as soon as they actually gave their reasoning for it, all of the people that don't really give a shit or understand anything about multiplayer and the flow of multiplayer and actual multiplayer gameplay, they think chasing red dots is easy. Like, at the end of the day, what you're not understanding is you think people getting red dots is like an unfair advantage. If everybody just had red dots on at all times, then everybody knows where everyone is, correct? People aren't red dot chasing, that's how the game works. You move around the map based on knowing or having the best idea possible of where somebody is. And for Call of Duty, that's okay because that's how everything is designed. That's how the maps are designed to flow. That's how the gunfights are designed. So looking at the list here, we have the classic mini map, which, you know, people are slowly getting brainwashed or whatever now that they have, you know, confirmation from the devs themselves. It gives them a defense to sit there and hide behind, even though, you know, they know how flimsy it is, but it doesn't matter because that's just the way that it goes. It's some wishy-washy because I said so type of shit. That's the way that just Infinity Ward makes their game. Then anybody that just gets ran by minimap, if they looked over and thought that minimap was the reason that they were getting absolutely shit on year over year, and then they quit Call of Duty and come back and they think that that is what's going to get them better games, it's not going to be the case. They're going to come back to it. They're going to find something else. The issue is that once they come to that realization that it is them and their own skill set, because understand they were never good at any of the Call of Duties. No iteration, no matter how many rules were bent in whatever way, they were never good at any of them. Anyone that actually used the phrase dot chasing is literally guaranteed dog shit. It's just a fact. Not even a little bit of an opinion or something like that, like, oh, just maybe a little bit. No, like actual guaranteed bad. I can guarantee. Footsteps seem to get a little bit better over time and everything, but that is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm gonna be straight up. That room right there, that one part of the map is the sole reason for how bad the map is. This is coming from a guy that's gonna do the majority of the camo grind on hardcore. You're not understanding. You don't get it. MW2 just feels like a faster version of Modern Warfare 2019, which is completely fine. That's pretty much the conclusion I came to after playing the game. It just feels like a faster MW19, no slide canceling in there, which is, it's a good and a bad thing. Perk system makes absolutely no sense. People were basically earning their bonus perk like near instantly 30 seconds or a minute into their game once they actually updated it and made people earn them faster. And at that point, like, why don't I just have the perk to begin with? Obviously, we don't necessarily know what is and isn't going to change going over to, you know, the full game, but we can assume that maybe some of it will be addressed, but the majority of it, like the really, really important shit, is likely already set in stone, and that's basically just gonna set the pace for the entirety of, you know, the rest of it. I know a lot of people feel like people can recognize that, like, that whole third-person camera change thing is really not that giant of a change, right? But it's big enough for the mode. I wish people could do the same thing whenever people try to tell me that it's not that big of a deal, that the map or the radar is a certain way, because they simply don't recognize how that can actually affect the game. They don't see it. They don't know. They don't get it. I'm so confused. Why is this guy permanently highlighted? This guy is always highlighted. What is this? Is this guy aware that he is permanently marked? This is clearly a bug, right? And that's just unlucky. Like, he doesn't even recognize that. I don't think he understands the injustices that are happening here. Am I the only one that can see him? Oh man, imagine. That'd be crazy. If you could specifically just radar one person. Instead of like being able to aimbot the entire team, you just go and pick the one guy on the other team and you just have automatic aimbot against him. People would target me so hard. Look at this. Look look, he's just, there's nothing he can do about it. This is just completely unfair. It's unfair to his team, just everything. He just gets farmed for free. I don't think my teammates can see him because some of them are still getting killed by him. I think maybe I'm the only one that can somehow see him, but I never threw a snapshot grenade or anything. He's just perma-marked. This is a really, really old bug that I thought got fixed a long time ago, but apparently it still persists somehow. The poor guy doesn't even understand what is happening to him. He was marked the entire time. Generally speaking, the game is gonna feel really good on console. We're gonna have 2 years of it. So I mean, when I say that Infinity Ward is making changes to the game and everything, yeah, they are making changes, just probably not necessarily the changes that we would hope. And I have a feeling that's probably going to be the case for, you know, a lot of situations, but it's still going to be a fun 2 years regardless of, you know, how it is off rip. It's a way better basis than Modern Warfare 2019 in my opinion, so like that's why I'm not really torn up about it too much. I got a whole list of things here that I have as complaints, but I also had the same thing as a whole list of complaints for Vanguard, and I didn't even hate Vanguard. Just at a certain point after I, you know, had to keep queuing back into the same people over and over again, realizing just how dead the game is, I can make some jokes, you know, I can afford that. I played the game. I really did play Vanguard. I really did. It was fun. Didn't hate it, but man, that shit got boring. Aesthetically, that game is just boring as fuck. Modern Warfare stuff feels super fresh, not old and dirty and dusty like that World War II shit. It just feels nice, clean, sleek. Graphically, everything looks crispy as shit, and now that third-person mode seems like it's going to act a bit more like how it was originally. I told people before for that third-person mode to go back and look at the original Modern Warfare 2 2009 third-person mode and see how that worked there, and you would understand what I mean by like how it's weird that you have a third-person mode, but then every single time you're shooting, it's in first-person. That's kind of weird because there is a third-person gun skill that should be developed. At least you would think so anyway when you select third-person mode. Shooting and aiming in Warzone is not the same as shooting and aiming in, say, I don't know, SOCOM or something. Now, whenever you ran around with a sniper rifle, you would go into first-person and go directly into the scope. So I'm gonna assume it's gonna work very, very similarly to that. Any 4X and up. So the majority of the time, if I were to do some crazy shit like the entire camo grind or something like that in third-person mode instead, which there would realistically be no reason unless there's some sort of like crazy exploit or the lobbies are like incredibly easy or something for some reason. Anyway, they made changes to the game, but just not exactly what we're thinking. So, I mean, it's something, I guess. I said it before, but I have a feeling we're going to be basically getting the beta. We're going to be getting the same game, I feel like, at least on release day. Maybe the game will change up a whole lot once Season 1 releases, but we're going to be doing a lot of the grind on that pre-patch, so it's going to be fun.